Hi, my name is Campbell. I've been involved with global reconciliation now for quite a few years. My life has been all about reconciliation. I'm a person of faith. I've been involved in learning about the stimulation of local neighbourhood people in response to painful issues, particularly HIV and other critical health issues. I learned a lot about that in Zambia in the late 80s and learned to value and appreciate the strengths that local people have in their circles of relationship of family and neighbourhood and then wider community. That construction, that understanding of synergy between the intimacy of home and neighbourhood and the structures that are full of people who really do mostly want to connect to that learning base in local family and neighbourhood is what I now try to do with a global group called Affirm Facilitation Associates. A story to illustrate comes from China, southern part of China in Yunnan province, Longchuan County. A few years ago, an ethnic minority community of 300 people found that they were confronted with HIV, where they had approximately a 25% prevalence rate in sexually active adults. This is really serious for a small ethnic community, but more so was the 75% prevalence of drug use in each of the 125 families of that ethnic group of 300 people. So imagine that use of contaminated needles superimposed on and bringing along an HIV-related epidemic. The people were losing spirit. They were seeing people suffer, and they stopped singing. They stopped interacting. A group stood alongside them for 2 years. It was a faith-related group, a group that appreciated the local spirituality and the loss of celebration that had happened. Community conversation happened, and women and men began to talk and make strategy for change. They decided on two things. One was that the women were going to form a women's guard and stand over the men and the boys who were digging the fields and do something about preventing the drug selling trade. And they wanted to see a diminishing rate of relapse, and in fact they did. The second thing they decided to do was to meet the young men and young women who were going to the drug rehabilitation centres, which are really detention centres, and they stood at the door, and they do now, and receive those folks when they're coming out of those centres, so that instead of being stigmatised and sent away, they're welcomed back. Coming to the short story, the result of this is that people are talking in families, people are talking between ethnic communities. Change is happening, indicated by a couple of things. One is that there's less relapse. Secondly, there's better communication, and the signal of reconciliation within is that the singing has started again. Celebration is happening.